The library's historic digital collections, known collectively as Digital Indy, continue to grow. 5 new collections have been added to more than 40 that are of local historic interest to Indianapolis residents. Meaghan Fukunaga is the library's digital collections manager, and she's here to talk about what's new with the collection. First of all, though, Meaghan, what about the overall effort to digitize the community's history? This has really taken off, hasn't it?
In about the year and a half since I was hired, we have put up about 10 to 15 new collections, and it ranges from everything from local arts organizations like the Eiteljorg Museum or the Indianapolis Symphonic Choir to new yearbook collections from township high schools. We had IPS up before, and now we're delving into the townships.
Those are real popular, the high school yearbooks.
The high school yearbooks are our most popular collections by far.
Now, your effort now has been branded Digital Indy. That's a catchy name.
Thank you. Yes, we worked long and hard on that, and it's to help patrons distinguish between our ebook resources and things like that and the historic digital collections.
What is the overall goal for Digital Indy? Obviously to digitize community histories, but it seems to be the library's own repository these days.
Yes, it's a great electronic resource for anybody looking for historical resources, and we are especially pushing to put up a great deal of collections in anticipation of the city's bicentennial in 2020.
Okay, very good. Well, let's talk about what's new. I mentioned there are more than 40 individual collections. 5 new ones have been added. A couple are of great interest to our local ethnic communities. Tell us about those.
Well, we put up the Burmese American Community Institute collection. We put that up a couple months ago, and that is a small collection, but we will grow it over the coming years. Baki is located on the south side of Indianapolis in Perry Township, and they serve the Burmese American community in Indianapolis. And they are having their 5-year anniversary this year, so we put up a collection in celebration of that. You can find their quarterly newsletters. You can find the Burmese American Community Institute Community Integration Guide. It's a mouthful. It's a great guide for new citizens. Photographs, things like that.
Interesting. Another one, the Slovenian National Home, something I'm sure most local residents aren't aware exists.
Yes. So the Slovenian National Home, or the NASH, is located in Havel, and it has been there since the turn of the century, early 1900s. The Slovenian population came to Havel between 1890, 1920s, and the collection consists of photographs of Slovenian Americans who served in World War II. So it should be of great interest to both that community as well as genealogists.
And some new collections that relate to local cultural organizations. You mentioned the Eiteljorg just a moment ago, but what about that collection and a couple of the others?
Yep, we put up the Eiteljorg Museum's newsletters, the Storyteller, going back to the 1980s, and we will be adding the Indian Market newsletter shortly once we finish scanning that. And we have put up the Indianapolis Symphonic Choir collection. It's their 80th anniversary this year, so you can go back in time and see photographs of the choir back in the day. And we also put up the Indianapolis School of Ballet. And these 3 arts collections are generously funded by the Allen Whitehill Clues Foundation, and we are very proud to have them up.
Very good. It's important to digitize items, I'm guessing, in this day and age as we go more electronic, because the physical items just don't hold up over time. Things will fray and fall apart, especially a lot of our items that date way back into the early 20th century.
That's very true. Yes, plus this reaches a wider audience, and it allows people to search for things more easily because we run optical character recognition, which is another mouthful, but that gives us a machine-readable transcript so patrons can do full-text searches on everything.
A lot of these items are actually, the physical items can be found, some of our collections, in the Indianapolis Special Collections Room at Central Library.
Yes.
So if people wish, they can actually find the actual historic items.
Yes, that's true. A lot of the collections that we put up that have to do with library history or other local history do live in the Indianapolis Special Collections Room, and you can find most of those in our catalog.
And that's on the 6th floor of Central Library. What's coming soon as this year progresses?
Well, we have a couple more yearbook collections coming. We will be doing the 2 high schools down in Perry Township, Perry Meridian and Southport. And we will be putting up some more arts organization collections. Dance Kaleidoscope is one, the Indianapolis Opera, Arts for Learning, the International Violin Competition. We've got a lot on our plate this year.
You have an interesting job. You get to network with all the community organizations, and if you're a history buff,
Yes,
That is right down your alley.
It is a great deal of fun getting to learn about all of these different worlds.
Okay, we talked about Digital Indy, the new branding name for your overall collective efforts. How can people access Digital Indy?
They can either go to digitalindy.org, or you can go to the library's homepage and look under the resources and click on digital collections there at the end. And we also have a Facebook page if you'd like to follow us. We put up interesting tidbits about history and images from the collections.
Well, fantastic. Best of luck in your great and interesting work. And Meaghan Fukunaga, the manager of digital collections, again, you can access Digital Indy at indypl.org.